Hi everyone, this is a very sneaky way of getting two different tools in front of you, and they're two different tools, two different ways of making videos for your assignment. The first one is Screencast-O-Matic. This creates a file that you just download and run. The file gives you a little dotted line stage, I guess, on your desktop that you can use to record anything that you see on your computer. So PowerPoint slides, Prezi, videos, anything like that, photos if you've got a slideshow running through PowerPoint that you want to talk over, that sort of thing. It's a great way if you've got a lot of particularly still images and you'd like to just record one long narrative over the top of it while you're speaking and recording that desktop. You can stretch, drop and drag this stage per se, and you can pause the recording at any time. So it's very handy for some videos, and it will save as an MP4, which is the perfect format to send to us. If you have a lot of video though, you do need to make sure that you don't use Screencast-O-Matic if you're just stitching video together. The reason is that at the moment my computer microphone is recording my voiceover while I'm talking to you about this screen. But if I was to start to play a video on here, it would actually be coming through the computer speakers, and then I would be hoping that the microphone picks it up in good enough quality and records it back onto the new video that I'm making. And that's when you sometimes get into a bit of trouble with quality. So do think about that, and if you've just got one tiny little bit of video that you want to show in the context of a big PowerPoint document or a Prezi, and most of the time is just going to be live narration that you're recording, you can normally use a tiny bit of video in here. But if you've mostly gone around your workplace and shot video and you'd like to put that all together with the original audio, a much better piece of software is Shotcut. Shotcut is completely free and open source, which means it's great for beginners from that perspective. The downside is it's not as easy to use as some of the paid tools. So Apple users and Mac users might prefer iMovie. This is one option that does go across all different operating systems. So Shotcut, I'm not a tech guru, but I downloaded this one and it seems to be working fine. Depending on what kind of operating system you're working on, there is Mac OS and there's a heap of others. There's actually quite a few other things that you can download. So let's have a look at what Shotcut looks like, and I'll give you an example of making a movie. It's not very user-friendly when you first open it, but don't worry, I will give you just the very, very basics of how you're going to get, I guess, a movie into this area. Okay, so this is typically what it looks like when you first open Shotcut. You've got a little bit of a space over here, some area to play movies, and a timeline down here. I do like to see the timeline. You can kind of select it up here if it's not showing. Let me run you through. So the first thing is to open the video files that you've been making and saving. I've got some handy ones just sitting here, and they will load up. They'll take a few moments while the computer detects them and loads them up. Let me pause that. What I've done is I've wandered around my house and taken a couple of videos. So you'll have probably some more clips to make up the 3 minutes. I've got some short videos here. I'm going to drag them down in the order that I want them for my movie, to sort of show the program where I want them to sit. And then let's have a look at these videos. So let's say in my first clip, I double click it to get it to preview up here. I've got a little bit of information, two pieces of information about this cat.
This is Sushi, the cat. He wasn't always going to be called Sushi, but he didn't get to say it, and neither did I.
So I might decide, oh look, halfway through that is all I need. I'm actually going to trim it a little bit there. That's great, that suits me. I'm going to pop the piece about Doc McStuffins there, but I don't need all of that. And you will of course have to sit there and play and make sure you've edited it in the right spot. And then I want to make sure, getting rid of all the green, I've got the last piece of my video. So this is all together, maybe I think, oh yes, this is looking nice. Maybe I need to do a little bit more trimming, so I'm using these toggle tools to just trim to where I need it to be. The other way that I can trim, I'll just slide that back there, the other way I can trim, particularly at the end of clips, I don't know why, but it seems like it doesn't like trimming very much that way. I can grab, this is the, I guess the cursor, let's say, for our non-media types. I might pop it there, and then I'm going to use this tool over here, which says split at playhead. So that actually cuts that video. It doesn't change what's in there. It actually plays quite nicely, but it's just got a split in it, and I'm able to delete that whole section. So if I realise,
I can tolerate line.
so I
Not
might,
so successful ice hockey team.
so I might need to get rid of that piece now. And I just select it and I hit delete. And pop all that nicely together. Now I've got my 3 pieces of movie. I may decide that they need to move around. That's actually proving a bit tricky. So you can sort of do it that way. You have to make some space, slide it all back in. Maybe that's the way I'd like my movie to be. Then they have a handy button up here, export. So to export from the timeline to MP4 format, that's great, that's all I really need. Just scroll down there and export the file. You get to choose. I like test 2, MP4, save. This always warns you how much space the drive has left. I hit yes, and then it starts to tick away. That'll take a little while to work. I haven't really gone into how to put music in here or anything like that. I think Shotcut is just a free tool really to put all the pieces of video together, do any little trimming that you need to do. So it's a nice replacement for Windows Movie Maker, but it's not going to do much more than that in this class. The tool itself, Shotcut, has lots of great additions and lots of other things that you can do with your videos, but really for the time that you have, we're not expecting anything more fancy than that. So, flash forward and you can see that on my file there is the full movie, and if I actually go to the browse to the file, here it is, test 2, and you can see the movie and how it's come together in the 3 parts that I put into the video. Be mindful, I think, of the volume that you're recording with, because certainly I didn't get as loud a volume as I thought, but I'm here on a rainy day with a cold and I haven't really spoken very loudly into the microphone. So that's something you need to think about when you're recording your original pieces of footage, because it's too late to worry about it once you're editing and in the position I'm in now. Right, hope that's been helpful.